You look for the heat and you run from the cold. 100 degrees ain't no problem at all. You're ready to die for the things that you strive for. But when it's too much for you to carry alone, you sink like a stone. Yeah, you sink like a stone. Oh, you sink like a stone. Yeah, you sink like a stone. Yeah, 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 yeah. You sink like a stone. Yeah, you sink like a stone. We've been over this 100 times. 'Cause you can't seem to read between the lines. You look for the heat and you run from the cold. 100 degrees ain't no problem at all. You're ready to die for the things that you strive for. But when it's too much for you to carry alone, you sink like a stone. Yeah, you sink like a stone. Oh, you sink like a stone. Yeah, you sink like a stone. You sink like a stone.
Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and Calmsden Farm. Right, so as you probably just noticed in the start of the video, this field right in front of me is all done as well. So that's both barley fields all harvested and put into the silo, ready for probably around December, January time before we sell it. Hoping December is probably going to be when we do that, but we've got a hell of a lot now. So let's just have a quick look at the numbers. You can see that I've got 257,000 litres, which is going to be really good. So December, peak time, we're going to look at trying to get around the 655 mark or the closest to in the month of December. But it's going to be a lot of trips. Something that I'm going to probably try and figure out if we can do it a better way when we get close to, because I've got a 20,000 litre trailer and it's going to be a hell of a lot of trips. I'm going to have to set up with auto drive, which means I'm going to obviously pay quite a bit in the running costs of that. So wage costs, let's call it. And I've already spent quite a lot. Well, at least like 3,000, 4,000 it will be when we've done all three fields with the cost of using auto drive and courseplay. So we are taking a tiny bit of a hit on that, but then again, we are going to get a good yield, and we're also going to get a good yield on the canola. We should be getting a good yield on the silage as well that we're going to do very soon, and also the straw that we've picked up from the field that we first started doing, the first barley field. We're also going to get quite a bit, hopefully, from that. So all the straw bales that I got from this second field that I've just done, I've stored away in here, and as you can see, we're pretty full on straw now, so we don't really need to hopefully worry about that for maybe next harvest season. We don't need to. We could sell it all if we did a barley again. I do like the idea of doing barley on this map just because of where it's based. It's probably going to be really common to do barley fields, wheat fields, and that kind of sort. A bit of rapeseed, so canola as well at the same time, but you won't be seeing much else in that style of area in the UK. So I think it just makes sense to try and be a bit more realistic on that front. I do enjoy doing the barley because obviously you get the straw, same with wheat. And if I had to pick between the two, I'd say barley was probably the best bet, just because it's a little bit different. I did a lot of wheat harvests within Farming Simulator 19, so why not? Right, so first thing I'm going to do, because we've obviously got to start the second harvest of this video, which will be the third harvest overall. We need to get cracking with that, but before I do that, I'm going to go and sell the Mikhail baler, because I really do want to go and get the one that I was talking about in the last episode. But first, we're just going to quickly fuel up this. I have got a bit of fuel left in this, 1,800 litres in that tank. I've got a lot less than the other one because I've been using it to fill up the harvester, which, as you can imagine, has been consuming quite a bit. There we go. So we'll just hook this up just because we're going to take it. As much as I like this mod, it doesn't hook up on the host connections with the manual attach. So let's go and take it and get the other one. And the good thing about that one, we can have twine or wrapping, whichever one you need. It's going to be wrapping for us if we're doing round bales. Twine's for the square bales. Right, so let's head to the shop. we'll get this baler, pick it up. We're going to lease out the wrapper for when we do the silage. I'm going to lease that out just because they are a bit, you know, they do cost quite a bit of money, and I've got a few ideas of what I want to do with the money we pick up from this year's harvest and also the silage. And I don't think it's top of that list. Don't get me wrong, if I can afford it, 50 odd thousand, I will get one. If we've got some 50,000 sitting there spare. But I do also want to get some sheep. I want to get a muck spreader, because the good thing about a muck spreader is that I've got a mod that allows me to put lime in it and use it as like a dual thing. So we can use it to spread lime, but we can also use it to spread muck, which I think just makes sense. So this road here always is closed. I wonder when they're ever going to open it. Must be doing some serious road works down that side. Right, so let's pull up at the shop. I've been putting a few things around the shop that we don't own, but they're there just because I think it makes it look a little bit better. So we've got the 2 JCBs. This little thing here I'd love on the farm. I really would. And then over here I've put a few little Range Rovers and so on, a Toyota over here. Strapped some stuff in the back. And as you can see, this one, I really do like this Land Rover. This Land Rover is really good because the door opens and you can actually strap something inside. So I've put like an AdBlue thing in there, like a drum, jerry can, whatever you want to call it. And then obviously we've got the TD5 sitting there. So yeah, I just think it looks a little bit better. So let's just reverse this into that spot and we can just sell it from here and then pick up another baler. And then at least that's done. I do want the option of having, you know, bigger round bales, and I think the good thing about selling this one, just getting a standard round baler, is obviously we can use Courseplay to do the wrapping, because that is quite a laborious task. But the good thing about it again is Courseplay works a treat on that. It really does, and it changed the way you can now do baling in that form without it being such of a task, quite a repetitive task inside a field. So I do like that. And then also we've got the Heston baler, so if we get the right kind of wrapper eventually, we can also wrap some square Heston bales if we wanted to go down that route. But I do like having the option of doing mainly round bales when it comes to silage, and then square bales when it comes to straw. But I don't mind also doing round bales of hay, so I do like having the option. So let's just try and get into this trigger. We don't want that. We don't want that. We're going to have to sell it from the menu. So let's just quickly do that. Owned items, we'll go to balers, and then we're going to go sell this for 58,000. Now remember, we have got a loan of £50,000 that I did pick up because obviously I needed a different, I think I got a few items. We obviously got the slurry spreader, and we also got the fertiliser spreader. Now I did swap that out at the end, just because of the fact it was, I had a few issues with it, but main issue was the fact that I didn't see the animation of it spreading out the solid fertiliser. This one does that, so this one's perfect for that. It also holds a little bit more, which is a bonus. Yes, it costs a little bit more, but it was worth it in the end, and obviously part of that £50,000 loan went on this. But it does look better, it works better, it holds more. And also I removed the mod, and I do appreciate everyone that put in the comment section about the mod that was conflicting with using a big bag and filling it up as you obviously lift it above, or filling it up that way instead of filling it up when you hit the trigger. So I do appreciate that, and I have removed it, and it seems to work a treat now. Right, so let's go buy ourselves this baler. Now, it is a little bit costly, but it does work a treat. But we want the one that we can add twine to, so which is this one, 57,000, and as you can see, it goes up to the 180 size bale. Now we're only going to be doing 150 because the wrapper actually only holds 150. Now I don't think there is a better option. I have been looking online, but I couldn't find anything that stood out. I mean, there's these style balers, the Vicon would be really nice, and there's also a chrome one, which is pretty cool as well. I do like this one. 60,000, but then again, I mean, we could use that. There's no reason why we can't. It's a few thousand more, but it's not too much more. The only issue with that one is obviously we can't have the net wrap and twine and stuff. So I think I'll stick to my original plan, which is to get this one. I mean, you can't go wrong with this baler. It does work well, and it's not got a bad pickup. So let's grab this. There we go. Yeah, we haven't taken too much of a hit at all there with selling the baler that we had. So we've got a brand new baler. Yes, it was obviously more costly because it was combined with a wrapper, but we don't need to worry about that. And look, we can have the hoses in, so happy days. So we'll be using this, we'll be going for 150 size bales when we do the grass silage, which means that we'll be hauling less, and in the long run that's going to be much better. So I'm going to go park this down in the sheds by the grass fields, ready, and also at some point I will buy some net wrap for this baler. Alright, so I've decided to go and get the net wrap now, just so I can show you what I'm on about, because I've been talking about it in the last couple of episodes in little bits. So I just wanted to show you where you get it from in the shop and what it does, just in case you're interested in having that feature within some of the balers that it now offers. It's basically just a more realistic way of playing the game. In real life, when obviously you're wrapping bales, if you're using round bales, you have to use net wrap that kind of wraps the bale in a basically in the round form that it's in, keeps it tight and compact, and then obviously you'll use wrapping over that if you're using it to ferment into silage. If not, if you just got like a hay bale or a you know, a straw round bale, then it'll just have the netting on. Same with the square bales, they use twine around the sides. You've probably, if you've seen a square bale in real life, you pick them up a lot of the time by the twine. And then obviously when you're using them, you'll cut the twine off for the square bale, so if you're spreading it out for bedding for cows or whatever. And the same when it comes to the net wrap. When you cut off the wrapping of a silage bale, for example, then you also have to cut off the net wrap itself. So I thought best thing for me to do is actually just show you this. So let's just grab a pallet of it. Now I think now it's changed. They've added a little bit more to it than what they did, because this mod was in actually FS19. But this time round, I think it was just like a generic twine pack or a net wrap pack. But now they've actually got a generic one, as you can see, net wrap. So this is for round balers, and then this is a class one. Then there's this one that we're going to use because that's the model of bale that we just bought. But then they've got Verneland and Pottinger, VIII, and then you go back to the twine. So this is what goes around square bales. You can see that there is a different icon. If I just bring up my mouse, you can see it there. That's for round balers, and this one's for square balers. So again, like you've got Case, Class, Crone, Massey, even Massey on this one, and New Holland, because obviously they make square balers. So let's get some net wrap, and we're going to go and buy this one. Now you can generate how many pieces you want. Obviously 12 pieces is £3,000. Now we don't need that much at all. We're just going to get 6, 1,500. We'll buy that, job done. And it should appear somewhere. There it is. I was going to say it's hiding. Now obviously we can't pick this up because it's a little bit heavy, but what we can do, thankfully, the guys at CFM Cotswold Farm Machinery said, jump in, have a go, why not? So we're going to grab this now, put it in the back of the truck. Now I know I am digressing completely off the point of the episode, which is to do a canola harvest, but we will get to that. But I just want to point out again, which I have pointed out multiple times, that I don't know if it's since the updates that Giants have been putting out, but the actual physics on pallets are horrendous. I know they were horrendous in FS19, but they're just even worse in my opinion. I think that, you know, you can't even half the time get a pallet. Now I know I've seen some people say it's not all pallets, but for me it is. Now I don't know if I've got some form of mod that's having an impact on that, but for me this should have been fixed by now. It really should have. Now I don't like to, you know, say anything negative within my videos, but this is a well-known issue within the game. The pallets are awful, and they really are. There's no two ways about it. So in fact what I'm going to do is put it in the direction. If we can get this off without it glitching, which it will do, because obviously the physics are horrendous. So let's grab it from this side. I think we can put forks in, which we've done. Now this might be an easier solution anyway. Well, you'd think, but then look at it. Anyway, we'll get it in, that's the main thing, and we'll have to just use super strength on most of these going forward. There you go, there's an example of it. I think super strength is the only way, so let's just put this back. Pretend we never even used it, and yeah, we'll ignore this ever happened. physics. Farm sim physics. Right, so super strength. That was easy. Job done. Sling it in the back. There you go. Take off super strength and there you go. That was easy. Right, so let's head back and we'll just put this next to the baler. I will just show you as I fill it up. I think it will probably use at least one, maybe a bit more, but it definitely won't consume all 6 of these. That's a fact. Bit bumpy over here, but we'll get there. There you go. Probably clip something again there. Right, so let's just drop this off, probably about here, and I'll have to show you filling up in the other episode because I did drive back the tractor, so I didn't think about that bit. So let's just take this out. We'll plonk it just there, because then when we do come to fill it up, it'll be right there. But as you can see, this basically goes in the sides. Depending on how the baler is set up, they do open. Some of them do, some of them don't. And yeah, and it's just what we use to wrap the bales, basically. Right, so before we start, I'm just at the side of the field by the arable farm, and I just thought I'd point out that all the straw bales that we got from this barley field I've placed here ready to sell. So they've all stacked up from the autoload trailer. I'm just going to keep them here for the meantime until we sell them. So let's go and take over the trailer with the header on. Now I'm just trying to think if to go through the field. I think maybe a better idea to just try and travel through the field. So let's just head that way, get set up. The good thing is we're not going to need a baler. I could have used the mod as well, the Canola straw mod. There is one flying about, but I thought we'll try and keep it at least base game for that. Even though I do think you can actually make straw out of canola. I think it is a thing that happens in real life, I'm sure of it, because I know they make straw from corn as well. Maybe they didn't want to give too many options on that one. Now, as you can see, it's pretty difficult to get into this field from that entrance, which makes me think we're just going to have to drive through probably the hedge a little bit here, unfortunately. It's going to be difficult for the auto drive as well, but we'll figure it out as we go. Right, so that's that one done. What we need now is the harvester, and then I think last but not least will be the trailer, but we'll set the harvester going before we do that. I mean, if there is another entrance, but I don't think there is, it might be good to come in that way. There could be one down there actually. That might be the best bet from the other side when it comes to auto drive. It's going to be a bit of a longer drive, but I think we'll have less chance of colliding with that gate. There we go. So we'll just unfold it. Like always, I'll start it off. We'll go around the edge of the field and we'll do a bit of a headland. And then we'll have a look on the other side over there, because I think that's going to be a perfect way of setting up the auto drive in a second. I always forget the PTO. It's like a thing now that I've got to do each time. There we go. Start her up and off we go. I used to really enjoy doing soybeans and canola in FS19. So I'm hoping again for another good yield on this one. I have done a lot of canola, but only in testing. When I started off doing the videos on FS22 about yields and comparisons and you know, trying to get the maximised yield potential, I did a hell of a lot of canola. I really did. Yeah, that's definitely going to be the best bet. Just to the right of the field over there. Seems like it's just an open area. And you can see by the number already of 13%, we are picking up less yield than what we did with the barley, which does mean that there's going to be overall less trips and more time for the carter to wait in the field. Actually, what I'll quickly just do is jump out, because they have changed the field information on the bottom corner now. So if we just probably try and have a quick look, it does tell me that potential yield is going to be about 78,600. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do get. It's telling me there 78,677 litres we should get from this field. So let's see if it's close. Let's just see how accurate that is. I imagine it should be spot on, but we will find out at the end of this harvest. Right, so I've just driven down to where I thought was going to be the best place to start from, but it isn't, because of the fact that there's a wall that would actually make it a little bit more tricky than the place we drove past over here. So it's definitely going to make more sense to do the auto drive from this bit. One, it'll be less driving to the silo, but two, it just means that he's going to have more of an open area. If we just have a quick look now, you can see that there's a good patch there without the trees, obviously. Let's just get into the field and I'll show you. So this one here is perfect, but then there's another one just like it over there. So I think this place here will be a good place to start from. So we'll do a bit of a loop. And we'll start from, let's start from this node. Let's angle it up a little bit better. Whoop. There we go. That's fine by me, and we'll do a single line here, and we'll get past this tree first. I mean, it doesn't need to be in the field as much as what I'm doing here, but I want a place to turn around properly, so we'll just do that. And then on this headland area, which will be still out of the way, we'll put the waypoint. I think that makes much more sense. So field 2 waypoint, we'll save this now here as, there you go. So we'll save that as F2 wait, and then all we need to do is pretty much just link it back up, which will be fine there. Happy days. So first things first, let's go and set this off and let it just wait, because this harvest is probably going to be screaming very soon to unload. In fact, it's probably waiting right now. If we just have a quick look, yes it is. So this is a good time to start this going. So we'll go from here. We'll first put it to unload combine, field 2 wait, and we're going to go to farm silo tip. And before we set that going, we need to jump back into the harvester and put this to field 2 wait. And as you can see, he's recognised that someone's on the same as him, and if we then jump back over here and set this going, everything should be set still from the last episode where we set the settings, so auto drive shouldn't have an issue, and so shouldn't course play on the harvester side. Right, so we got there in the end. I had to do a bit of a stop-start on that one because the course play had deactivated because it was waiting for too long. If it obviously knows that auto drives with it enabled, it won't deactivate, but because there wasn't an auto drive at the time after it was sitting there, when I jumped in, nothing was going on. So this was basically saying waiting for call still, even though the pipe was out of the harvester. So what I had to do was just manually jump in, start it again, tried to like move it back to about here, start it from nearest waypoint. Then it obviously knew that it was full instantly. It's just reversed out into this spot, and now it's unloading. Right, so there we go. That's that done. He'll carry on now. Everything's working a treat. Got through it in the end. So I think right now is a perfect time for me to stick in a montage of me finishing off the final harvest of this year, and hopefully we turned out to get a pretty good yield. Right, so there we go. That's all 3 fields harvested. Both the barley fields and the canola field all done. So this year's harvest is complete. And we've done pretty well. So I've parked everything pretty much up around here. I'm going to clean off all this equipment, the harvester, the header, that kind of stuff, fuel that kind of equipment back up, so, but mainly the harvester. Clean this trailer off, and I won't clean the tractors off because we're going to be using them for the silage, which is the next big job, and that will be a big job. 5 fields to harvest on that front, well, 5 fields to mow. So let's just quickly jump in here. We'll park this back over to where the jet wash is, because we're going to want to wash this. And then I will fuel it up. I'll buy some AdBlue as well, because it really does drink through AdBlue, which I do like, because previously the AdBlue was consumed quite a slow amount. Now I have got 2 canisters there, so that's like 100 litres of AdBlue just by them little drums, but that won't be enough for this, I'll tell you that now. This drinks a hell of a lot and holds a hell of a lot as well, so we'll consume probably most of that, if not maybe one more. So I will need to buy some. If I can buy it in a bigger drum, like an IBC, I think IBC would be perfect. If I can get one of them, I'll grab that. But overall, it has been a good yield. So let's just have a quick look at the numbers. Let's just open the menu up and have a look at the numbers. So the canola, 78,896 litres. That's pretty good going for that field. And obviously, like I mentioned, 257,000 litres of barley. Well, we've got some serious amount to sell, and it's going to be a lot of trips. It really is. Let's look back. So we're looking at December time for the barley. We're looking at November for the canola, so we can do most of it in November. Then we'll move over to the barley in December. Let's have a look at straw and silage. So straw is December, January, around that time, so that's good. Can do it all the same time with the barley. And then if we just quickly look at silage, you can see that January is silage. So it's good. It's not all in one month. We're basically going to be busy November, December and January, which is good to spread it out a bit. But we have got a hell of a lot. Now, I do want to point out, I've spent 7,700 on wage payments. So it obviously is quite expensive to use Corsair Auto Drive, but you can see it does help out quite a lot. And again, you've got to remember, this is like a month's worth of work. Because it's 1 day is a month, 7,700 for a month's worth of 3 harvests like that isn't too bad, really, when you look at it like that. And also, actually, thinking about it, that's on 50%. The Corseplay's on 50% and Auto Drive's on 50%. So actually, if I was at 100, I'd be paying 14,000, which is probably a bit too much in my opinion. So I'm glad I stuck it at 50%. Right, so let's just have a quick look at these grass fields so we know the plan for the next episode. So we've got 4 here that we're going to mow, and this one makes 5. These 2 are ready to harvest, but this one's the only one that's actually truly in the final stage when it's starting to head, which is where we want it to be. This one's got 1 more, so next month that'll be ready. Now these 3 are obviously probably 2 months behind, so we're looking about September time, I'd say. If we're in July now, we're going to be mowing in September. Hopefully that gives it enough time to ferment. I think it should. I think it's like 2 months to ferment, if I remember on top of my head. I might be wrong on that, but I think it is 2 months. So we should just be perfect to sell that silage in September. So that is going to be the main aim in the next episode. But on that note, I am going to leave the video there. So thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it every time. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, because that does help my channel out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.